She replaced you. Just like that. One moment, you were her everything. The one she texted first thing in the morning. The one she called when life got tough. The one who knew her better than anyone else in this world. And now, it's as if you never existed. She's moved on, replaced you, and barely looked back. You feel invisible, discarded, like a broken piece in a puzzle that no longer matters. It's like someone reached into your chest and pulled your heart out, leaving you gasping for air, asking yourself the same questions over and over again. Why wasn't I enough? What did I do wrong? Could I have stopped this? The pain is sharp, isn't it? It's a pain that lingers, that wraps itself around your thoughts, clouding your mind, making you doubt everything about yourself. But here's the thing. This story doesn't end with her. It doesn't end with you feeling small, broken, or defeated. No, this is where your story truly begins. Because right now, while you're at your lowest, you have a choice. You can stay down, replaying the same scenarios, hoping for her to come back, or you can make a decision to rise up, to rebuild yourself into someone she can't ignore, someone she will regret losing for the rest of her life. And here's the secret. This isn't about her, it's about you. It's about realizing your own worth and stepping into a version of yourself that's stronger, smarter, and more unshakable than ever before. You're not going to beg. You're not going to lash out. And you're certainly not going to chase her. That's not how this works. No. What you're about to do is so much more powerful than anything she could ever expect. You're going to show her, without uttering a single word, exactly what she gave up. How? By mastering yourself, by reclaiming control over your emotions, your actions, and your life. This isn't just a rebound or a temporary fix. This is a transformation, one grounded in the ancient, unbreakable principles of Stoicism, an art of emotional mastery that's been practiced by the greatest minds in history. And when you combine it with the sharp, calculated edge of dark psychology, you become something far more powerful than she could ever comprehend. You become untouchable. Now let me make something crystal clear. This isn't about petty revenge. This isn't about proving her wrong or seeking validation from someone who overlooked your value. This is about you becoming the kind of person who doesn't need validation at all. The kind of person who radiates confidence, power, and presence. The kind of person who walks into a room and commands respect without saying a word. That's the person you're about to become. And trust me, when she sees it, when she realizes what she lost, the regret will hit her like a freight train. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This journey isn't for the faint of heart. It's going to take discipline, focus, and the willingness to let go of what you cannot control. It's going to take learning how to transform your pain into fuel, how to silence the noise of regret and anger, and how to rebuild yourself into someone who doesn't just survive, but thrives beyond imagination. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact tools you need to reclaim your power, rebuild your life, and leave her questioning every choice she made. But before we dive into these powerful steps, I need you to take action. Right now. First, hit that like button. It might seem small, but it sends a powerful signal. It tells the world that you're ready to reclaim your power. And second, I want you to scroll down and type these words in the comments. I reclaim my power. Don't just think it, write it, declare it, because when you write those words, you're making a commitment to yourself. A commitment to rise above the pain, the rejection, and the self-doubt. This is your moment, and it starts right here. Number 1. Understanding why she replaced you. Let's get brutally honest for a moment. Why did she replace you? It's the question that's been keeping you up at night, isn't it? Running through your head on a constant loop. And while it's easy to blame her, to call her shallow, or say she never really cared, there's a deeper truth here, one you need to face. Because understanding why she replaced you isn't about her, it's about you. It's about recognizing the dynamics that led to this moment so you can break free from them forever. Here's the hard truth. She replaced you because on some level she believed she could. People only replace what they think is replaceable. And that means somewhere along the way, you may have given her the impression that you'd always be there, no matter how she treated you. Maybe you became too predictable, too available, or too eager to please. Maybe you stopped challenging her. Or maybe, just maybe, you forgot to prioritize the most important thing in your life, yourself. Don't misunderstand me. This doesn't mean you were weak or unworthy. It doesn't mean you didn't love her enough or try hard enough. But it does mean that somewhere along the way, the balance shifted. She stopped seeing you as a challenge, as a mystery, as someone who added undeniable value to her life. And when that happens, people start looking for something or someone else. That's just human nature. The good news? You can flip this script entirely, and you're going to start right now. The Stoics had a saying, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the foundation of everything we're talking about today. You can't control her choices. You can't change the fact that she replaced you. But you can control how you respond. You can decide, right here and now, that you will no longer allow anyone, not her, not anyone else, to dictate your value. Because here's the truth she doesn't want you to realize. Your worth was never tied to her. It was always within you, and the moment you embrace that, everything begins to change. But this isn't just about philosophy, it's about strategy. Because while Stoicism gives you the emotional clarity to move forward, dark psychology arms you with the tools to make her regret underestimating you. And the first step in this process is understanding that being replaced doesn't define you. What defines you is how you rise after being replaced. Will you crumble under the weight of rejection, or will you use it as fuel to become someone even better than she ever imagined? Someone she'll never be able to replace again. Take a moment and really let that sink in. This isn't just about her regret. It's about your evolution. It's about proving to yourself, not her, that you are unbreakable. And it starts with a single choice: to stop obsessing over why she replaced you and start focusing on the one thing you can control: yourself. Before we move to the next step, I want you to declare your power once again. If you haven't already, hit that like button and drop a comment below that says, "I reclaim my power." Why? Because every time you write those words, you're reaffirming your commitment to yourself. This is about creating a community of people who refuse to stay down. People like you. Let's keep going, because the next step is where the real transformation begins. Number 2, withdraw completely. Now that you've faced the truth about why she replaced you, it's time to take action. And the first step is something most people don't have the strength to do. It's counterintuitive. It feels unnatural, but it's one of the most powerful moves you can make. You need to withdraw completely. That's right. Cut all ties, step back, and disappear from her life. No texts, no calls, no social media likes. Nothing. Silence. Why? Because your absence will say more than any words ever could. Here's why this works. Right now, she expects you to chase her. She expects you to try to win her back, to prove your worth, to beg for another chance. And every time you reach out, every time you show her that you're still thinking about her, you confirm one thing in her mind: that she has power over you. But when you withdraw, when you pull your energy away completely, you create a void. And here's the thing about human nature. People don't notice what they have until it's gone. Your silence will be louder than any argument or emotional plea. It will leave her questioning, wondering, and most importantly, regretting. From a Stoic perspective, this is about reclaiming control over yourself. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By withdrawing, you're no longer reacting to her actions. You're no longer letting her dictate your emotions or your decisions. Instead, you're taking back your power. You're showing her and yourself that your worth doesn't depend on her validation. That's the mindset of someone who cannot be replaced. But this isn't just about emotional mastery. There's a psychological edge to this move, rooted in dark psychology. When you disappear from someone's life, it triggers something called the Zeigarnik effect, a cognitive bias where the brain fixates on incomplete tasks. In other words, when you pull away and leave no explanation, she's left with unanswered questions. She starts to wonder why you're not reaching out. Did you move on? Did you find someone else? Was she wrong to leave you behind? Those questions will linger, creating a subtle but powerful sense of regret. Now, this isn't easy. Let's be real. When you care about someone, the urge to reach out can feel overwhelming. You might convince yourself that one text won't hurt, that maybe if you explain yourself, she'll understand. But let me tell you something. Every time you reach out, you reset the clock. You give her the power back. And that's not what we're doing here. We're playing the long game. Silence is your greatest weapon, and it's one that most people are too afraid to use. Think of it like this. Withdrawing isn't about running away. It's about pulling back to regain your strength. It's about creating the space you need to focus on yourself and begin the transformation process. Because here's the reality. Your energy is precious. And if she didn't appreciate it before, she's about to learn exactly how valuable it is in your absence. Before we move on to the next step, let me remind you of your power. If you're still with me, if you're ready to reclaim your life and leave her regretting her choices, hit that like button right now. And don't forget to comment, "I reclaim my power." Because every time you say it, you're making a promise to yourself. A promise that you will not be defined by her choices. Let's keep going, because this is where things really start to shift. Number 3, the glow-up effect. Now that you've withdrawn completely and created that void, it's time to focus on the most important part of this process, you. This step is what I call the glow-up effect, and it's where the real transformation begins. You see, while she's sitting there wondering why you've gone silent, you're going to use that time to level up in every way possible. You're going to rebuild yourself, not just to make her regret her choices, but to remind yourself of the incredible person you are. Because here's the truth. When you transform, you become undeniable, and nothing haunts someone more than realizing they lost someone who became everything they ever wanted. So, what does a glow-up actually mean? It means working on every aspect of your life, your body, your mind, your social circle, your goals. Let's break it down. First, start with your physical appearance. This isn't about vanity, it's about confidence. Hit the gym, upgrade your wardrobe, focus on your grooming. When you look good, you feel good. And trust me, people notice. When she sees the photos of the new you, or hears about it from mutual friends, she'll start to realize that you're no longer the same person she walked away from. You're better. Next, work on your mind. Read books, take courses, pick up new skills. Stoicism teaches us that self-mastery begins with the mind. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So, ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind? Replace negative, self-defeating thoughts with empowering ones. Learn something new, challenge yourself, and grow intellectually. When you invest in your mind, you become more interesting, more confident, and more magnetic. Now let's talk about your social circle. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you, who lift you higher. This isn't the time to isolate yourself or cling to toxic relationships. Build a network of friends and allies who remind you of your worth and push you to become even better. Social proof is powerful. When she sees you surrounded by amazing people living an incredible life, it sends a clear message. You're thriving without her. Finally, focus on your goals. What have you been putting off? What dreams have you let slide? This is your chance to reignite that fire. Whether it's building a career, starting a side hustle, or pursuing a passion project, now is the time to go all in. Not only does achieving your goals boost your self-esteem, but it also sends a powerful signal to the world and to her that you're unstoppable. And nothing is more attractive than someone who's chasing their dreams with purpose and determination. Here's the beauty of the glow-up effect. It's not just about making her regret losing you. It's about making you proud of the person you're becoming. When you focus on yourself, when you prioritize your growth, your happiness, your success, you create a life so full, so vibrant, that anyone who underestimated you will feel the sting of regret. And the best part, you don't have to say a word. Your transformation will speak for itself. But remember, this isn't about showing off or seeking validation. The Stoics teach us that true confidence comes from within. You're not doing this to prove anything to her. You're doing this to become the best version of yourself. And when you do that, everything else falls into place. Now, if this resonates with you, if you're ready to start your glow-up journey, I want you to drop a comment below. I am unstoppable. Say it loud, say it proud, and remind yourself that you are on a path of greatness. Let's move on, because mastering the art of silence is where the game truly changes. Number 4, master the art of silence. Silence. It's one of the most underrated yet most powerful tools you can use, not just in this situation, but in life. And when it comes to making her regret losing you, mastering the art of silence is where everything starts to shift. This isn't just about staying quiet. It's about using silence as a strategic tool, one that flips the dynamic and puts you back in control. Let me explain. Right now she expects noise. She expects you to react, to argue, to defend yourself, to try to win her back. That's what most people do. They fill the void with words, hoping to explain their side of the story, hoping to convince the other person of their worth. But here's the thing. The more you talk, the less she listens, and the more predictable you are, the less valuable you seem. Silence, on the other hand, is unpredictable. It's mysterious, it's powerful, and when used correctly, it makes people uncomfortable in the best possible way. Think of it this way. Silence creates space. Space for her to reflect. Space for her to feel the loss of your presence. Space for her to wonder what you're thinking, what you're doing, and why you're no longer reaching out. And here's where it gets interesting. People hate a void. When there's no noise, the mind fills the gap. It starts to question. It starts to imagine. And those unanswered questions, they're far more powerful than anything you could say out loud. From a Stoic perspective, mastering silence is about mastering yourself. It's about breaking free from the need to react, to defend, or to explain. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." In other words, you don't owe anyone a reaction. Silence is your way of saying, "I don't need to explain my worth to you. My value speaks for itself." And that kind of confidence? It's magnetic. But let's take it a step further. In dark psychology, silence is a psychological disruptor. When you stop reacting, you shift the power dynamic. You're no longer playing by her rules. You're creating a sense of uncertainty, and uncertainty is unsettling. She starts to wonder, why isn't he reaching out? Has he moved on? Is he happier without me? That uncertainty eats away at her, and the longer you stay silent, the more those thoughts take root. Now, let me be clear. Mastering silence doesn't mean ignoring her forever. It means being intentional with your communication. When you do speak, it should be on your terms, not hers. Silence isn't about being petty or passive-aggressive. It's about reclaiming your emotional space and using it to focus on your own growth. And when the time comes to re-engage, if that's what you decide, you'll do it from a place of strength, not weakness. But here's the catch. Silence isn't easy. It takes discipline. The urge to explain yourself, to check in, to seek closure, it's strong. But every time you break your silence, you hand the power back to her. And we're not here to do that. Remember, silence isn't just about her. It's about you. It's about giving yourself the space to heal, to grow, and to rise above the situation. Because when you master silence, you master yourself. Now, if you're ready to embrace this step, comment below. My silence is my power. Write it down. Say it out loud. Because once you understand the power of silence, you'll never look at communication the same way again. Let's keep going, because the next step is about shifting your mindset entirely, and that's where the real magic happens. Number 5, the philosophy of indifference. Now that you've mastered silence, it's time to embrace one of the most profound principles of Stoicism, the philosophy of indifference. This is where you stop reacting to external events and start taking full control of your internal state. Because here's the truth: her opinion of you, her actions, her decisions, they don't define you. And when you truly internalize that, you become untouchable, unshakable, a force of nature that no one can control or manipulate. Let me show you how. Right now, she probably expects you to care, to obsess, to agonize over her decisions. And let's be honest, part of you might still feel that pull, the need for closure, for answers, for some kind of validation. But here's what the Stoics teach us. Indifference is power. When you stop attaching your happiness, your worth, and your identity to external circumstances, you free yourself. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Indifference isn't about not caring, it's about choosing what's worth your energy. And let me tell you, her opinions, her choices, they're not worth it. But let's dig deeper. Why is indifference so powerful? Because it disrupts expectations. People expect reactions. They expect you to care, to defend, to explain. When you don't, it creates a psychological shift. Suddenly, you're no longer predictable. You're no longer someone she can read or control. Your indifference communicates one undeniable truth. You've moved on. And that truth, it's unsettling. It forces her to confront her own decisions and question whether she underestimated you. From a dark psychology perspective, indifference is a form of psychological dominance. It sends a message without saying a word. I don't need you to validate me. I don't need you to complete me. I am whole, with or without you. This kind of energy is magnetic. It's the energy of someone who knows their worth, who doesn't chase, and who certainly doesn't dwell on what's already behind them. And trust me, when she realizes that her actions no longer affect you, it will hit her harder than any words ever could. Now, indifference doesn't mean shutting down your emotions. It's not about becoming cold or detached. It's about directing your focus inward, toward the things you can control, your growth, your happiness, your goals. The Stoics believed in living according to nature, which means aligning your actions with your purpose, not someone else's expectations. When you live this way, you stop being reactive and you start being intentional. You start making decisions that serve your higher self, not your ego. And here's where the transformation happens. When you embrace indifference, you no longer fear rejection. You no longer fear being replaced, because you know that your value doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. You know that you are enough, exactly as you are. And that kind of confidence, it's rare, it's powerful, it's unforgettable, and the best part, it's entirely within your control. But I know this isn't easy. Indifference takes practice. It takes daily reminders to let go of what you can't control and focus on what you can. So, here's a practical tip. Every time you catch yourself caring too much about what she thinks or what she's doing, ask yourself this question: does this serve my growth? If the answer is no, let it go. Redirect that energy toward yourself, because at the end of the day, your life is about you, not her. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to embody the philosophy of indifference, I want you to comment below. I am in control. Write it down, declare it, and remind yourself every single day that your power lies within you, not in someone else's hands. Let's keep going, because in the next step, we're diving into how to use social proof to amplify your transformation and make her regret everything. Number 6. The social proof phenomenon. Now that you've embraced the philosophy of indifference, it's time to add another layer to your transformation, one that's rooted in both psychology and perception. It's called the social proof phenomenon. This is where you shift the narrative, not through words, but through your actions and the way others perceive you. And when done right, this step doesn't just make her regret her choices, it makes her question her entire perspective of you. So what is social proof? In simple terms, it's the idea that people base their opinions on what others think and do. It's why we're drawn to individuals who seem admired, respected, and sought after by others. The same principle applies here. If she sees you thriving, surrounded by people who respect you, enjoying a life that's full of purpose and connection, it sends a powerful message. I'm not just fine without you. I'm thriving in ways you never imagined. And trust me, that realization hits hard. Here's how you use social proof to your advantage. First, elevate your social circle. Spend time with people who inspire you, challenge you, and bring out your best self. Whether it's reconnecting with old friends or building new relationships, surround yourself with individuals who add value to your life. This isn't just about appearances. It's about building a network that supports your growth. And when she sees you thriving in these circles, it sends a clear signal you're in high demand and you're not looking back. Next, document your journey. No, I'm not talking about oversharing or posting every detail of your life on social media. I'm talking about being intentional with what you share. A photo of you at the gym, working on your fitness. A shot of you exploring a new hobby or achieving a milestone. These small glimpses of your growth and transformation create a narrative, one that says, I'm living my best life and I'm doing it without you. And here's the kicker, you're not doing this to prove anything to her. You're doing it to celebrate yourself. The fact that it might catch her attention, that's just a side effect. But let's take this even deeper. Social proof isn't just about perception, it's about energy. When you surround yourself with positivity, growth, and success, you naturally exude confidence. You become someone others want to be around, someone whose presence commands attention. And that energy? It's magnetic. When she sees you glowing, when she hears about your accomplishments through mutual friends, it forces her to reevaluate everything. She starts to wonder, did I make a mistake? Was he always this incredible and I just didn't see it? Those thoughts plant the seeds of regret, and once they're there, they grow. Now, this doesn't mean you're pretending to be someone you're not. The Stoics were clear about this. Authenticity is key. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In other words, don't just act like you're thriving, actually thrive. Build a life you're proud of, a life that reflects your values, passions, and purpose. Because at the end of the day, social proof isn't about her, it's about becoming someone you're proud to be, and when you do that, the rest falls into place. Here's an important reminder. This isn't about revenge or manipulation. It's about showing the world and yourself what you're capable of. It's about creating a life so full, so vibrant, that anyone who doubted you will feel the weight of their mistake. And the best part, you're doing it all for you. The fact that it might make her regret her choices, that's just the icing on the cake. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to embrace the power of social proof and step into a new version of yourself, I want you to comment below. I thrive on my terms. Write it down, declare it, and make it your mantra as you move forward. Let's keep going, because in the next step, we're diving into the mindset shift that will make you truly unstoppable. Number 7, mindset shift. Focus on being unstoppable. You've mastered silence, you've embraced indifference, you've harnessed social proof. But now, it's time to take the final step in your transformation, shifting your mindset to focus on one thing: being unstoppable. This isn't just about moving on, it's about building a life so extraordinary, so unshakable, that nothing and no one can hold you back. And when you do this, her regret becomes inevitable, not because you sought it, but because your growth speaks for itself. Here's where most people get it wrong. They stay stuck in the past. They keep replaying old memories, trying to figure out what went wrong or what they could have done differently. But let me tell you something. You cannot change the past. You cannot rewrite what's already happened. What you can do is take full ownership of your future. And that starts with a simple decision: to stop looking back and start moving forward with purpose and clarity. So how do you adopt an unstoppable mindset? It starts with letting go of victimhood. Stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" Pain is a teacher, and if you're willing to listen, it will show you exactly where you need to grow. The Stoics understood this deeply. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the very thing that hurt you can be the thing that fuels your greatest transformation, if you let it. Next, set audacious goals. Goals that scare you. Goals that excite you. Goals that make you want to jump out of bed in the morning. Whether it's building a business, mastering a skill, or achieving a personal milestone, channel your energy into something that inspires you. Because when you're focused on a mission bigger than yourself, the pain of the past starts to fade. You realize that life is so much bigger than one person, one relationship, or one setback. You realize that you have the power to create a future that's brighter than anything you've ever imagined. But being unstoppable isn't just about big goals. It's about mastering the small daily habits that lead to greatness. Discipline yourself to show up every day, even when it's hard. Hit the gym, even when you don't feel like it. Read the book, even when you'd rather scroll on your phone. Take the step, even when fear tells you to stay still. Because here's the truth. Success isn't built in a single moment. It's built in the small, consistent actions you take every day. And when you commit to that process, you become unstoppable, not just in her eyes, but in your own. Let's talk about confidence. Real confidence doesn't come from validation or applause. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment, whether it's waking up early, finishing a project, or saying no to distractions, you build trust in yourself. You prove to yourself that you're capable, reliable, and resilient. And that kind of confidence, it radiates. It's the kind of energy that turns heads, that draws people in, that makes others, including her, take notice. But here's the most important part. Being unstoppable doesn't mean you're invincible. You're still human. You'll still face setbacks, doubts, and moments of weakness. The difference is, you won't let those moments define you. You'll use them as fuel to keep going. You'll remind yourself that every great journey is filled with obstacles, and that overcoming those obstacles is what makes the journey worthwhile. As the Stoics taught, resilience isn't about never falling, it's about rising every time you do. Now take a moment and ask yourself this. What does the unstoppable version of me look like? What does he do? How does he carry himself? Who does he surround himself with? Visualize it, feel it, and then make the decision to become him, not tomorrow, not next week, but starting right now. If you're ready to adopt this mindset and become truly unstoppable, drop a comment below. I am unstoppable. Write it, own it, because this is your moment to rise. Let's move to the next section, where we'll talk about the inevitable regret that comes when you've fully stepped into your power. Number 8. The inevitable regret. Now that you've transformed yourself, mastered your emotions and shifted your mindset to being unstoppable, there's something you need to prepare for: her inevitable regret. And make no mistake, it will come. Not because you forced it, not because you begged for it, but because your transformation speaks louder than any words ever could. When she sees the new you, the version of you that no longer seeks her validation, that thrives without her presence, it will hit her in ways she never expected. So what does this regret look like? It starts as a flicker, a small doubt in the back of her mind. Maybe she sees a photo of you looking better than ever. Maybe she hears through mutual friends about how you're crushing your goals, surrounding yourself with incredible people, and living your best life. Or maybe it's the silence, the absence of your energy in her life, that starts to weigh on her. Whatever the trigger, the realization creeps in. What if I was wrong? What if I gave up on someone who was just about to become extraordinary? Here's the thing about human nature. We often don't value what we have until it's gone. And when you combine that with your growth, the glow-up, the confidence, the unstoppable mindset, you create a contrast that's impossible to ignore. You've become someone she can't replace, someone she can't forget, and that's where the regret really starts to take hold. But let's be clear, this isn't about revenge or validation. The Stoics teach us that true power lies in letting go of what we can't control. Her regret? That's not your responsibility. It's not something you need to chase or even acknowledge. It's simply a byproduct of the incredible person you've become. And by the time she feels it, you'll be so far ahead in your journey that it won't even matter. Now, let's talk about how to handle this moment with grace, because eventually she may try to reach out. Maybe it's a casual text. "Hey, how have you been?" Maybe she starts liking your posts or finding excuses to talk to you. This is where your Stoic training comes into play. Remember, your power lies in your response, or lack of one. You don't need to engage unless it aligns with your goals. And if you do choose to respond, do it from a place of strength, not emotion. Show her that the person she left behind no longer exists, that you've evolved into someone who doesn't need her or anyone else to define your worth. But let's be honest, her regret isn't the point of this journey. It's simply a reflection of how far you've come. By now, you've reclaimed your power. You've rebuilt your confidence. You've created a life so full, so vibrant, that her opinions no longer carry weight. And that's the ultimate victory. Because when you no longer seek validation from the outside, you become truly free. And that freedom, that's what makes you unstoppable. Now take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. Think about where you started, feeling replaced, forgotten, discarded. And now, you've turned that pain into fuel. You've risen above the noise. You've transformed into someone who commands respect, not through words, but through action. And that transformation is your greatest power. If you're ready to keep rising, if you're ready to leave the past behind and embrace your unstoppable future, comment below. I am untouchable. Write it, declare it, because you've earned it. Let's move to the final step, where we'll bring everything together and create a roadmap for living this philosophy every single day. Number 9. Becoming a man of substance. You've made it to the final step, and by now, you're no longer the same person who started this journey. You've embraced silence, mastered indifference, transformed yourself through the glow-up effect, and adopted a mindset that's truly unstoppable. You've built a life so full, so vibrant, that her regret is inevitable. But this isn't the end. This is just the beginning. The real question now is this: how do you keep this momentum going? How do you live this philosophy every single day? First, remember that this isn't just a one-time transformation, it's a lifestyle. Stoicism teaches us that growth is a continuous process, not a destination. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That strength, it's something you cultivate every single day. It's in the small choices you make. The choice to show up for yourself, to focus on your goals, to silence the noise of doubt, and to keep moving forward no matter what. Second, stay grounded in your purpose. Why are you doing this? Not for her, not for anyone else, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, this journey isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. The kind of person who doesn't just survive but thrives. The kind of person who turns pain into power, setbacks into stepping stones, and challenges into opportunities for growth. Third, surround yourself with the right people. Build a network of individuals who inspire you, who challenge you, and who lift you higher. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose wisely. Seek out those who embody the qualities you admire and let their energy fuel your journey. Because when you're surrounded by greatness, it pushes you to rise even higher. And finally, never forget the power of gratitude. Yes, even for this experience. The Stoics believed that every challenge, every setback, every moment of pain is an opportunity to grow. So instead of dwelling on what you lost, focus on what you gained. You gained resilience, you gained clarity, and most importantly, you gained a deeper understanding of your own strength. That gratitude, it's what keeps you humble, grounded, and ready to take on whatever comes next. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by how you rise after it. And right now, you are rising in ways you never thought possible. So keep going, keep building, keep thriving, because the life you're creating, it's one that no one, absolutely no one, will ever be able to take away from you. If this journey resonated with you, if you're ready to embrace this philosophy and live it every single day, I want you to take action right now. First, hit that like button. It's a small step, but it's a declaration of your commitment to yourself. Second, comment below, I rise above. Write it, own it, because those 3 words are a reminder of everything you've accomplished and everything you're capable of. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications, and join the Stoic Blessing community. This is your space, a space for growth, for resilience, for transformation. Together, we're building a movement of people who refuse to stay down, who rise above, and who create lives that are truly extraordinary. This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see where your journey takes you. Remember, you're not just unstoppable, you're untouchable, and the best is yet to come. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and keep rising.